Hi, I haven't done one of these in so long. I'm like, how do you open this video? Okay. Hi, I'm Yanifa Owini Awuseju Adinajulucimi, founder of Temple Oturofongunda. And I haven't done a collective energy wisdom in quite some time. So let's just see how this goes. Let's see how it feels. Um, Part of this is inspired by a video I was watching on the Clock app. I follow an astronomer. His name is Dr. Dakota. And one day he did a video about what color is the sun. And, you know, I'm Gen X, so every picture I have ever seen of the sun as a child has been the sun is yellow, orangey yellow, or something to that effect. And it's like the sun is white. What? The sun is white. And then he goes into all the science and things and explaining it. And what I realized in that moment was how very cool it is that our ancestors knew this. How do I know that our ancestors knew this information? There is an elder, and if I remember their name, I'll drop it in the comment section. But they did a correlation between the Orisha and the planets, and the one associated with the sun was Obatala. And I'm like, well, the sun is hot. And my brain was not locking in. The sun is hot. And then it was the other day when it's like the sun is white. And then it just all, like everything, all the pieces just locked in for me. And I was like, oh, and this is amazing. And so it started with this thought about the sun. And I would love to say that I am going to come on here every day and give you an energy forecast each and every day. But being 100% honest, I know that I'm not going to do that. So, what I decided to do is I felt the urge to do an energy forecast. And instead of trying to do all the planets, all the things, let's talk about where is the sun. And I'm going to speak about this through mostly the lens of EFI. And this is something that I have been studying for the last couple of years. So, you're going to get most of this through the lens of EFI. We already know where the sun is in a westernized sense. So let's just talk about the sun. So the sun is white energy. And so when we think about white energy, what does that mean? A lot of times we think about coolness being cold. Coolness is clarity. Coolness is not simply being cold. Coolness is clarity. You're able to see. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Coolness is clarity. It is being able to see, being able to be sure, being able to understand. Like you move in a particular way when you have clarity. You move in a particular way when you're clear on things. And that's what the sun represents. White is a clean slate. And so what happens? What is our relationship? Well, the sun is shining throughout all the day, and then at night it is receded and we start a new day. We have a clean slate each and every day. And thus, knowing we get this each day, this is also about mindfulness. How are we being mindful of our day? How are we honoring the energy of the day? How are we honoring the energy of the day? It's also about how are we expressing the light that the white light is essentially the reflection. It's the expression of all the color spectrum. All the colors are being reflected out when you see white. So what does that mean? So if we could say consider white as being masculine energy, energy of action, energy of doing, energy of tangible expression, there's all the colors being reflected back. This is the understanding of infinite manifestations, infinite possibilities of how you can express, how your nature can express out into the world. And you being clear about how you want that expression to be shown. And so it's also life giving when you are expressing as the fullness of who you are, when you are honoring your energy, when you are honoring your fullest expression. It's life giving, it's life prolonging because you're not trying to be something you're not. You're being the fullness of who you are, and being able to be the fullness of who you are empowered, you are invigorated, and you are joyful, and you're more happy, and you're more sure of yourself. So also, as you think about the sun, it's moving, it's constantly moving forward. There is no retrograde motion when it comes to the sun. The sun is where it is, doing what it's doing. No one, the sun is going to put out whatever amount of heat it puts out. It's not trying to make you hot, it's not trying to cool you down. The sun is simply existing in the fullness of it being the sun. So, how are you existing in the fullness of who you are, and how does that make your path forward even more clear? So right now, the sun, this energy, is now sitting in the frequency of Irosomeji. So Irosomeji, the sounding Oshun, and this is the fulfillment of our destiny through ancestral support and inherited gifts. And the sounding Osun is all about protecting. It's not just the fulfillment of our destiny, it's protecting it. It's protecting our destiny. Protecting our destiny through nurturing, through practical application of wisdom, balancing in our feminine and masculine energy. So, understanding how are we using our inherited gifts, talents, ancestral wisdom to support us in taking the aligned inspired action on a day-to-day basis to help us not only walk in step with our destiny, but protect the good fortune and the blessings that are included in our destiny. So one of the things, a couple of things I wrote down was like um, trusting in your spiritual practice, trusting in your spiritual practice, um, and knowing it's going to support you, and knowing that you have the support of the ancestors, knowing that you're not alone. So today, I said, okay, so let's see what's going on today. I said that was something I was reflecting on. So I was like, what's going on today? So we're going to start putting some pieces together. So please exclude my phone notifications. So we're going to start putting pieces together. So first and foremost, we have the World Odu. So right now, we're under the World Odu of Osameji. And so I'm not going to go into verses, all of those things. Please see your elder if that is something that you are looking for. We're going to go into, on a metaphysical, esoteric level, what Osameji energy is. I did a longer video, but I'm going to do some highlights here to carry this message forward. So Osameji's praise name is to run away, or is run away. And so there are two symbols here, one often talked about and one I rarely ever see mentioned ever. The first one is the one that most often you'll find on the internet, which is the tornado. A tornado highlighting storms, changes, inclement weather, and things that are beyond your control. Um, then we have the brain and the spinal column. This is a clear call out to our nervous system. Also, Manji, as I mentioned before in the previous video, is our flee, freeze, fight, or flight. Fight response, all those F's. But you get the point. It is what are we doing and what is informing how we are moving, how we are um, making decisions. What's informing how we make decisions. And so for those who know what Osameji looks like, when you look at the breakdown of what Osameji looks like, it's visually mostly masculine. However, the Odu itself has a huge focus on women power. The head of the marks is feminine. The head of the Odu, when you're marking it, the head itself is feminine. And the foot of the leg and body, the rest of it is masculine. And so this is, what are you thinking? Because feminine energy has no boundaries. So this is a not just I'm thinking, I'm ruminating. It's not just I'm thinking, I'm ruminating. And because it's feminine energy, all the thoughts, all the possible outcomes, all the possible scenarios, all the things are all coming in. If you want a practical what this looks like, there's a running joke, stereotype, a trope, if you will, about a man and a woman going on a vacation, and they're going to go be gone for like 2 days. He has like two outfits and she has two bags full of things, and he's like, why do you have so many clothes, we're only going to be gone for 2 days? And she's like, well, what if happened, that is the feminine, not woman, the feminine energy is not bound by time and space. Thus, it is operating under all potential outcomes. So, when we as women do this, it is because in that moment we're less grounded. We are seeing all potential outcomes, and thus our masculine expression of that is planning for all potential outcomes. When you're further in your masculine, you're more grounded in the here and the now and the present. So when we're in this energy under Osameji, we're thinking about all the things, all the things. The serenity prayer comes to mind, like, being clear on what you can and cannot control. And a lot of times in Osameji, it's those things where it's either a lack of clarity of what you can and can't control, or also a hyperfixation on all the things you cannot control, which is what triggers your immune system to be out of whack and thus causes you to operate in that freeze, fight, or flight response in a misaligned way. So, looking at that, how does the current energy help you navigate under this Osameji energy? So when we're talking again about the sun, knowing who you are and who you're created to be and the way you are meant to move through the seasons of your life and how to progress forward. A lot of things that are impacting our nervous system is a lack of knowing. We don't know, like not with a degree of certainty in a lot of instances, what it is we're supposed to be doing. We don't know our destiny. We don't know our path. And I'm saying we because this is a collective message. But there's this a collective like not knowing how what is the path forward. I am in the US, so this is going to be very much focused on me and my people when we're looking at what is happening in our country. How do we navigate when we know the system is broken? And actually the system is not broken, the system was never designed to include us. And as we're looking at this energy, like I said in the last video, you can see the system crumbling away. But what do? You can't stop it from crumbling. And every time you try, it just fights harder against you. So if you're not meant to save the system, what is it that you are meant to do within this time? How are you are meant to? What is going to pull you into the eye of the storm? The storm is coming. What is going to help you to stay calm and in the center, in the eye of the storm, while the storm is raging all around you? You're going to see the storm raging. You're going to see the system crumbling. You're going to see all these things happening. What are you supposed to do to keep your nervous system regulated, to stay well, stay present, so that you can continue to live comfortably in spite of everything that's trying to make you uncomfortable? You have to know what you're meant to be doing. Are you continuing to feed the system that is ultimately ending, or are you feeding yourself so that you can create a new system for you, your family, and your lineage? Then this goes to feeds into where is the sun sitting, and this Meji energy. What are you? How are you protecting your destiny? First, you got to know it. Like you don't have to know what you're protecting. I'm protecting what? What are you protecting? Learning who you are and learning your destiny. This is a first step into how you protect that which belongs to you. Then once you start learning your destiny, what does it look like to live it? What does it actually look like? What are the things that you're doing on a day to day basis that says, I am living, walking, embodied in the fullness of my destiny? The next part is knowing that you are supported. Knowing that you are supported. This is energy that's huge on our ancestors. So there's a big call, and even Osameji is there's a huge call on ancestral support, knowing that you are supported by your ancestors, also knowing that you have community that is willing to support you. Taking inventory of yourself. What are your ancestral inherited gifts and talents? Start by having conversation with family if that at all possible. What are things that the people in your family were good at, naturally good at, that you have realized that you were also naturally good at? Inherited gifts and talents don't have to be taught, they have to be awakened. Inherited gifts and talents are not taught, they are awakened. So as you are awakening to those gifts and talents, then what are the supporting skills that you can learn and develop? What are the supporting skills that you can learn and develop to go along with those gifts and talents? And how are you meant to use them practically in your day to day life in order to facilitate you realizing your good condition? How are you maintaining your balance in masculine and feminine energy? Are you open to receive? Are you open to receive? There's a huge there is a lot of divine action energy, and in the day-to-day life it's very receptive. So are you open to receiving divine guidance from your ancestors? Are you open to receiving divine support from your ego and your ori in order to facilitate you achieving your goals, realizing your fullest potential, and cultivating the prosperity that wants to come through Osameji? It's very interesting in how when you look at Erosun Manji, if you know what it looks like, it is like the masculine energy is being supported by the feminine. This is highlighted in both Osai and Erosun, not just the honoring and the respecting of women, but how you want a woman that is going to be in your corner. Um, there was a live and Her Majesty says you need a praying spiritual woman in your life. Do you have an Ianifa in your life? If not, you should probably get you one this year. You should probably get you one. But pay attention around you. Do you have women in your life that are truly supportive of you, supporting you, and helping you in facilitating change in your life that is going to bring about your good condition? Your emotional body has messages. Listen. Your emotional body has messages. And the question I wrote down is what have you been experiencing but not feeling in your day to day? What have you been experiencing but you have not been feeling in your day to day life? So that's the energy that we're in, this season we're in. So we're going to be in this energy until about the 22nd. Until about the 22nd. So, what was under this energy, things that are tips? You need to ground, like ground, earth, earth. If you don't have an advisory around bare feet on the earth, then put your bare feet on the earth. If you do, then at least spend some time sitting on the ground. Sit sometimes sitting on the ground. Move your hips, move your hips, move some of that energy, move your hips. Men, this goes for you too. Move your hips and your legs. So walking, dancing, jogging, running, jumping, yoga, anything that's going to get you and your body moving and moving stagnant energy that's in your body so that you can regulate your nervous system and take the appropriate response when things come up. Um, Pay attention because ideas are going to come in fully formed. Ideas are going to come to you fully formed. It's not going to be like, a book. It's going to be this is the book, these are the chapters of the book, this is how the book should be laid out. Ideas are going to come to you fully formed. Do take a moment to pause before moving. Take a moment to pause before moving. Really look at how the thing that is coming forward to you wants to be birthed, timing and everything. Really look at the full picture of how it actually wants to be birthed. Um, Consider what has never been realized and is what's being shed. What dreams have not been realized and what things are you holding on to that need to be shed? If you are in the tradition, you need to trust in your ebo. Trust in your ebo. Trust that if things had been hard. You went and got a divination. You did the offering. You need to trust that and then it's being accepted and it having an impact. Form a plan to get out of debt. Look at your money, look at your finances. I did a blog on my website around being a good steward of your money to make you more, being a good steward of your prosperity. So make sure you go and take a look at that to see what that means. But you need to make a plan to get out of debt. If you are a business owner, it's a good time to rebrand. And my suggestion would be to look at what branding looks like for you. So if you have your personal ODs, look at some of the themes and highlights in your personal ODs. If you don't have that, look at your birth chart. If you have your birthday, time, and location, pull your birth chart because your personal branding is right there. But consider rebranding. What ancestral gifts did you inherit? So, like I said, taking inventory for yourself. How are you using them well? And what are your areas of opportunity? And what can those gifts do for you in helping you to facilitate having a good life? How can you utilize those gifts to facilitate having a good life? In this season, home cooked meals are going to be the thing. In this season, home cooked meals are the thing. I'm not going to give you like dietary suggestions or anything like that, one, because I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist, but two, everyone's personal genetic makeup has its own things. What I will tell you is those things that you can prepare at home, prepare them at home. It is a great time for good, comforting food. Do be mindful of overindulgence. Definitely do not overindulgence. The more beautiful your plate looks, the more appealing, not beautiful, beautiful will come later in the month. The more appealing the plate looks, the more balanced. So making sure you have, all your appropriate and aligned groups on your plate, but something that's comforting, eating with family is going to be a really great thing for you. So sitting down and having dinner, breakfast, and lunch whenever possible, and doing so with your family, having those meals with your children, spending a lot more time. If you have children, spending time with your children is also going to be a good thing for you. Making sure you're taking care of your lower body, so anything from your belly button down to your feet, making sure that you're taking care of those particular arenas of your body, as there's going to be a particular focus on those. In terms of mental health and nervous system wellness, I gave several of those tips in the Osameji video. So do make sure that you watch that if you would like some of those. So today, the energy today. So I pulled a card today, and so I'm gonna actually go backwards. So energy today. Today is the 2nd of July. On a collective level, we're in an 8 month. So today is a 1 day. Today is a day of new beginnings. We are still currently under a waning moon. So a waning moon, the things that you plant during a waning moon are things that are going to be under the surface. So, what new things can you start that are going to be more transformational, not inherently outside yourself in your physical reality, but within yourself that will then later change your physical reality? Um, this is also, today is Thursday. Today is collectively a Jupiter day. So this is all about your wisdom and expansion. So again, under this waning moon with this one energy, this may be a time of study. You may need to expand your horizons. You may need to do some research on culture, your history, your ancestral lineage. These are things that you should look into because there's going to be something there to help you move the needle in your life. There's going to be something there, either in what you study spiritually, philosophically, ancestrally. There's something there that's going to help you to move the needle in your life in alignment for your wellness. The card pulled today was Tituba. So Tituba is an ancestor who was accused of witchcraft. She was accused of witchcraft. And the theme of her card is feeling safe. Feeling safe. In the back of the deck energy um, was resistance. And so when I look at feeling safe and resistance, again, this is going back to that awesome energy that in your dysregulated nervous system, not allowing you to recognize that you're safe. So, one thing I would suggest doing is write down all the ways that you're safe. Write down all the ways that you are safe, whatever that looks like for you. Write down all the ways that show you day to day that you are safe and that you are protected. Once you have done that whole list, then truly look at what makes you feel unsafe. And is this something that you can control or something you can't control? And look at the things that you can control. Once you've identified what you can control, then what do you need? Pick one thing. Pick one thing, one lifestyle change, one environmental change, whatever that is, to help that feeling of safety come. And tell your body, tell your nervous system, tell your ori to tell your nervous system, you are safe. You are safe. The resistance also is Osamanji wants to bring change. Osamanji wants to bring change, and if you are trying to not make that change, if you're trying hard to hold on, I don't want to let it go. The tornado's coming, about to come through your front door. The tornado's going to come through your front door, and you have a decision to make. You can stay in the house, or you can go out the back door, bend the left, and be safe. Are you going to stay in the house? Or are you going to go out the back door, bend the left to be safe? So, what are you resisting at this time? And how is this impacting your ability to feel safe? So, today's wisdom came through the Holy Odu of Ogbe Irete. Today's wisdom came through the Holy Odu of Ogbe Irete. So, Ogbe being the supporter. Being the supporter, this is open roads and alignment to destiny, very action oriented and very free flowing. There is no blockage here type of energy. And the question I wrote down is, how is it that we attract support? And we do this by being who we are meant to be and doing what we are meant to do. This magnetizes us for not only E-Ray, but makes us recognizable by the people who are meant to support us, our Egbe Aye, and divine support coming through like our Egun and our Egbe Orun, the Orishas, the Orunmole, etc. Irete is perseverance and determination. It is E-Ray at the mat, and it is the crusher. And this is about how are you going to crush your goals? How are you actually crushing your goals? How are you succeeding where others have failed? And what are you giving your attention to? How are you succeeding where others have failed? And what are you giving your attention to? And so, in order for this road to open up, we are in need. In order for us to garner the support, in order to be magnetic for the support, we must continue to persevere. We must continue to push forward. And so, it is knowing also when to push and when to pull back. There's a fine balance there. So you may be continuing to push, 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 and you're devoting all this energy in the ashe, but everything is telling you to give, like, let this go. And if you're unsure, this is where discernment comes in. You need to discern if this is what you're supposed to be doing or if it's not what you're supposed to be doing. Consult of your head. Go to your Ori and ask, is this something I'm doing because, and really ask yourself those probing questions. Are you doing this because society, because the family, because people expect you to, or are you doing this because there is a passion, a pull, a fire? And if it is the latter and not the former, then what support do you need in order to be successful? This requires humility. This requires being able to ask for help. This requires you to go, I have been doing all the things. Maybe it's time for you divine intervention. Go get a divination to see what it is that you need in order to support you to be successful. Um, Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. Determine if you need to go at it alone or are you supposed to have people helping you. And helping you doesn't inherently mean they got to be all in the minutia of the thing. Sometimes that support is a listening ear. Sometimes the support is an investor. So really being aware of not only the need of support, but what type of support is it that you need? What is the type of support that you need? Also being mindful of um, who are you listening to? And what are they saying? Who are you listening to? What are they saying? And understanding somebody else's experience doesn't always mean that's going to be your experience. You have to know what is yours and what your destiny is trying to bring forward for you. So this particular verse um, says, Ina nipon ejaloju. Opo orun nipon alakan leyin. The vulture ate sacrifices but did not say thank you to the one who offered the sacrifice. Had he said thank you, he would have received another sacrifice. This was a divination done for Ori, who wept for lack of a wife. The Ori being discussed was a human being. He consulted Ifa in order to find a wife. He was assured that he would find a wife, but he had to sacrifice in order to do so. And then he was told to show gratitude to his benefactors. He complied. When he found his wife, it was Apere, the daughter of Olokun, and she agreed to marry him. He went back to inform Orumila of what had happened and to find out what he should do. Orumila said that she was really his wife, but he was to make an offering. He made the offering. After a while, Alara heard and sent for Ori. He warned Ori not to marry Aperi, for her father usually took her back from whoever married her the following day. He replied that he had heard him. Ojiro and Awan Rangoon also told him not to waste his money in marrying her. Ori said since Ifa said she would be good, he would try it and have a say if she turned out not to be good. Soon after, he did the traditional ceremony, and a Peri was given to him as wife. The next day, him, Orumila, the family and friends all went to his new father in law's house. Olokun was so touched that he gave Aperi's sister to Tim in taking care of Aperi. So Ori was praised the entire day. He asked that he be referred to since then as Ori Aperi's husband. Alara, Ajero, and Ararangun heard that Olokun did not take Aperi back from Ori, and they were surprised. And so they asked questions. They found out that Olokun took her back because her previous husbands did not come back to say thank you. Since then, Orumila mandated grooms to go to their in-laws the next day to say thank you. He also started the custom of giving the bride's sister to the new family. Thus, Ori praised the priest praised Ifa, and Ifa was praising Olodumare. So I'm gonna stop there. So I'm gonna do my 2026. So Ori is trying to get married. But Ori is like, I'm not about to marry just anybody. I want to make sure this works out for me. So let me go first do divination to find out, is getting married an alignment for me? And if so, what do I need to do? It is. Ori gives the appropriate offerings. Soon after, here comes Aperi. Aperi is Olokun's daughter, and Aperi is eligible to be married. So Ori is like, yo, marry her. So meets or Aperi, and he's smitten, and he's like, okay, bet. Goes back for divination. I met somebody. I met somebody. She bad. Should I marry her? Is it her? Like she cool? Oromila says yes. Give an offering to kind of lock in that blessing, lock that blessing in. A lot of times, out here manifesting, just doing all the scripting in the world, but you ain't getting no offerings. You ain't did one to check if the thing you're manifesting is for you. Two, if it's going to have longevity, and then what it needed to do to have longevity. And three, a gratitude offering to make sure it has longevity. You haven't done any of those things, but I digress. So he completes the offering. Um, Once word on the street finds out, everybody finds out, Ori is engaged to a Perry. Here come the haters. So three kings come to visit Ori. Not just anybody, three kings come to visit Ori. And so, hey, man, don't even pay that bride price, man, because all that's gonna happen is her daddy gonna take her back home the next day. Ori is like, I hear you. And they're like, no, 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 for real, for real, for real. Don't waste your time because her daddy gonna come get her. I hear you, but I already got divination that says she good, so I'm good on that. I'm good on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and take my chances, and then I'll decide for myself if it's gonna be a good deal or not. They're like, whatever. So Ori goes ahead and marries a Perry. On the following day, they all go to a Perry's dad's house. And so they go see Olokun, and Ori brings thank yous and gifts and all of these things. And Olokun is just simply touched and just is singing Ori's praises. So, of course, everybody hears again, hey, hey, hey. So the three kings, they're like, yo, they go to Olokun, hey, man, why you ain't take your daughter back from Ori? Olokun was like, because every other husband she had was rude. They didn't even say thank you after they married her. So um, that is the bigger part of this. So understanding, for those that know, a Peri should sound familiar because this is a part of the Ori complex that holds your destiny. A Peri is the part of the Ori complex that actually holds your destiny. So understanding now from how Ori and a Perry are married. They are committed to one another. They are connected. This shows Ori's connection to your destiny, what type of union that is, and being grateful for it. Olokun, of all the many associations with Olokun, Olokun is also associated with mysteries. So there's this a mystery about your destiny, not really knowing what your destiny is, and that, or your Ori helping to reveal that destiny to you, and you being grateful for the revelation. And the one way of showing gratitude is saying thank you, but also to live in it. Also to live in it. This is also about being mindful of what other people tell you. So again, we're under this Osameji energy. So this regulated nervous system. So you done met somebody. And we've all had it happen. You done met somebody and you think they are the best thing since sliced cheese. You think they're the greatest thing ever, but here they come. Well, you shouldn't have. But you have no reason to feel any kind of way other than how you feel about this person. But here they go, all in your ear. When we are protecting our destiny, weaving the things forward. When you are protecting your destiny, you are protecting your destiny. And if you know that this person is going to be good for your destiny, whether this is by marriage or by dating, but this person is going to be a source of E-ray, a source of good fortune for you, your life, and your destiny, then you should protect that by not listening to them. Don't don't let them pee in your ear. And you give gratitude for this person being in your life. You give gratitude for them. And so this is about knowing what to hold on to and what to let go of, and understanding that, let's say that rumor was, well, she's not worth it because every time someone marries her, this is where succeed, like I said, succeeding where other people have failed, or we succeeded where other people have failed. Why? One, because Ori checked first, because then Ori got that advisory, like, hey, you can get married and you can marry her, but you got to show gratitude. You got to be polite and show gratitude. And that's exactly what Ori did. Ori was polite and Ori showed gratitude. So this is not inherently just about you being polite, but this is about you knowing what to do to achieve the goal. This is about knowing what you do to achieve the goal, persisting in doing the thing that is needed to achieve the goal so that that road opens up for you and you can see that goal achieved. So this is the energy we're in right now today. Like I said, I'm not going to promise you I'm going to do one of these every day, but we will circle back again before the end of this season to see what other energies are showing up in order to help us not only protect our destiny, but help us have a well regulated nervous system and attract all the prosperity and e-ray that wants to come to us as we're navigating through these changes. So thank you again for listening. Again, I am Ianifa Owini Aboseju Adinadolosimi. Definitely check us out, Temple Otudopongunda on my website, niasdivinegarden.com. If you are wanting to see how this energy is speaking for you personally, the calendar is open. Feel free to book an E5 divination. If you're looking for some things that can help you to regulate your nervous system, kind of get back balance, a energy work session coupled with a head cleanse and a foot cleanse is a great place to begin. So you can find all those services and more on my website. Description box is going to have the link. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, double.